Hey gamers, it's Wintermute here from Grind This Game. Back with Surviving Mars. It's kind of like my mega base here. So I've hit over 5,000 population, and I have 25 domes so far. And is the game broken? Kind of. It runs, if I put it on the fastest speed, it sort of runs. It's a bit kind of jerky, and even though it says I'm getting 60 frames per second, if we kind of zoom in on some of the stuff going on, it's a little bit messed up. But it still works. Still, nothing's completely broken. So I've been running kind of at middle speed, which runs fairly smoothly. But for this video, I'll probably slow it right down, just so it remains smooth. So how did I get to 5,000 population? I haven't actually brought any colonists in for a long time. Since I had 2,000 people, I think. And if we go to the passenger rocket, because people are dying... oh, matching colonist 1. Before this was sitting at 0. So every time a colonist dies, it removes 2 applicants from the pool. And people have been dying from old age and from suicide and lots of different things. And so I kind of had to strike a bit of a balance here between too much comfort and too little comfort. Because if the comfort is too high in each dome, if we look at this dome here, for instance, and we hover over colonists, children will be born in this one because comfort's high enough. Comfort's sitting at about 42 in this dome, but in some of my other domes, comfort is right here, for instance, comfort 14. Now it says children will be born in here, but they aren't really being born. So there's a few domes that have high comfort and they're pumping out babies, essentially. And most of them have like low enough comfort that they're just kind of stable, or they have like the odd suicide. So the limiting factor that I kind of hit was kind of interesting. If we look at our kind of overview here, I wasn't sure what it would be, but it turns out concrete is going to be my limiting factor. So I'm producing 36, but my concrete maintenance is 110. Now I could tap into a few of the remaining concrete kind of resource points if I have any left. Yeah, there's a bunch here. I could tap into these, but these are finite. And I don't have the research that lets me kind of, I think it's called nano refinement or something, that lets you get a little residual amount forever. I don't have that. Now I do have the wonder that gives me concrete. This one right here, the excavator. But it only produces 50 per day. So when you get to this scale, you can't really keep up with the concrete demands. Now I happen to have a decent reserve here. But it looks like I'm burning about 70 per day. So eventually I'll run out and I'll have to import it. And it's pretty tedious to import. Even using the space elevator here, if I do a space elevator import, I can only do kind of 80 concrete at a time. So that, that's pretty tedious. I'd have to do that almost every sol. And I have $1.7 trillion now, so money's not really an issue. I was selling my rare metals, I've got it down to almost 0. But even rare metals is, actually consumption is actually ahead of production now. So we're not keeping quite up with that. Metals is also slightly declining here. Actually, declining quickly now. We're producing 17, but we're consuming close to 80. But some of these other things like polymers, we're staying ahead of. Electronics, we're also barely staying ahead of. As in, we're like slowly increasing. So I got some crazy stockpiles. This is all metal here. I'll kind of take you around the base here. We got machine parts here, electronics. I only have a few domes actually making machine parts and electronics. So we got our concrete just came in. Our power usage overall is we're generating about 7,000. We're kind of consuming about 7,000. So that's pretty much in balance. That's all these fusion reactors here that are running with the AI internal fusion upgrade, which means no people have to do them, and you get a boost, so they're 300 each. Now, one kind of overlooked thing that I wasn't really using much are these tribal electric scrubbers, and they basically like remove dust from your buildings every so often. So if we actually watched this fusion reactor, when the scrubber activates, the maintenance actually goes down. And all these things take our energy and a little bit of electronic maintenance. So because I'm covering so many fusion reactors here, I'm going to save myself from tons of electronics maintenance. So these are really useful to put around your kind of high maintenance equipment. So I've got one here, I've got one here. And you can change the service area radius. Oh wow, I just noticed the animation changes, or the building actually changes. So they use a decent amount of power, but not, it's totally worth it to use these around your, your expensive equipment. What else do we got going on here? This was one of the Wonder Domes. What's this thing called again? Let's just see, I forget the name of it now. It is the Geoscape Dome, which gives you a lot of extra comfort. So this is where a lot of the babies are being born. Yeah, comfort level is 89, so that's the baby factory. It's working pretty well. Most of these domes just have kind of a ton of apartment buildings, 2 farms. That's enough to kind of keep everyone fed. And I usually build a casino that covers luxury gaming, gambling, and social, and the bar, which covers drinking, and then the open air gym is exercise and social. And sometimes I'll build a diner and a grocer. Yeah, colonists are dying, but not very frequently, considering we have 5,000. What happened to this guy? Oh, weird. He died of suffocation. I guess he was out for a jog and had a rip in his suit. So it was pretty fun to build it up to this level. Here's the new dome I was about to set up, but I think I might stop here. I kind of wanted to push the game to its limits. Let's turn the speed back up. Yeah, I wanted to kind of see its breaking point. When I got to about 3,000 colonists, that's when it started to get a little bit choppy. Now, I don't think most people will go this far. There's no real point. The storyline was long finished and over with. Now that might change as they add kind of expansions and, any kind of changes in the future. Zoom back out here. It's pretty much a tour of the landscape and the base. Got lots of fuel refineries, and I have tons of moisture evaporators, because I'm not really tapping into the water deposits much. Like we have some up here. There's lots of water left on the map still, but I'm using evaporators. That way we know kind of that it's not going to drop off once a water deposit falls off. Now we do have a water shortage, a very minor one right now. So I need one more evaporator that's been upgraded to kind of cover that. So maybe I'll just stick one over here. Now these can be, if you put them right beside each other, they get 40% of their output. But if you put them 6 tiles apart, you can stack them up. And then I upgrade them. Let me slow things back down. Then I upgrade them using this top right thing here. Hydroscopic coating. Now let's say you built like 5 of these and you wanted to upgrade them all. You just control click and they'll upgrade kind of all the ones on the map that need upgrading. Same thing here. If I built like all these apartment buildings and I wanted to turn on this thing, Home Collective, like do the upgrade, I could control click. I think control click actually turns it all off too. Let's just see. Yeah. What else did I have to do? I'm actually running low on fuel. I'm consuming a little bit more than I'm producing, and that's because I have all these shuttle hubs. I have quite a few of them. They're the backbone of this whole base. Now, whenever I put a new dome up, I pre-position. Oh, I put some food storage out front, right by the entrance. And kind of my build order is 2 farms, 1 apartment, and then entertainment buildings if I want them, like the casino, the gym, the sports bar. And that way the food kind of gets stocked up. And I always grow, I don't know if this is optimal, but I always just grow fruit trees. They keep the soil at 100%. I could probably do fruit tree, potato, fruit tree. That might be a little bit more optimal, but just doing fruit trees is the easiest. Here I have fruit tree, potato, fruit tree, but the soil quality is dipped a little bit. And I usually work them overtime, put this workload to max. That pumps up the food a bit. The sports bar is like one of my favorite buildings. Wow, they're all in here having a drink. Look at them. Drinking their invisible drinks. They're cool because these little seats, they kind of go all the way down here like a ride. Oh, he wants another. It's crazy that the game is simulating 5,000 individuals like this. They all have their needs and wants. This guy wants a lot of drink. Everyone's pretty much unemployed. I got a huge unemployment rate. But I don't have the jobs for them. It's a lot of people to employ. Yeah, it's quite a few people. Quite a crazy game. So yeah, it's not completely broken, but it's looking pretty awesome. Kind of a bird's eye view here. Now I've only done one of the storylines, and I'm partway through the second storyline. I'm doing the 535% difficulty in one of my playthroughs, and was this broken? It's really challenging, but I'm kind of at the part in the series now where I'm starting to become self-sufficient. So it's becoming less of a struggle now. So I encourage you to check that out. Hopefully, I heard some rumor that the save files might break, and I hope that's not the case because I really want to finish that base off. That one has the research that allows you to continue to get resource out of an extractor forever. Look at all those domes. That's crazy. So that's why I kind of want to finish that base. I want to see if I can ramp it up even beyond this. Oh, I think Project Morpheus got broken down somehow. I did have a massive meteor storm that took a lot of stuff out. Let's build that back up. We don't want to destroy it. Our Mohole Mine can't keep up with all the demand, unfortunately. Now it says metals production 18, even though here it says daily 50. Not quite sure what's going on there. It might be all this waste rock kind of getting in the way. Or the drones can't keep up. That's probably another issue. Yeah, that's probably it. Can't clear stuff fast enough. Now, even though I have this space elevator, well, I had it disabled earlier, and even though whether it's disabled or not, it keeps selling my metal, so there might be an issue with that. And if you get a meteor shower, don't build your fuel depots like this. Spread the fuel out, because if meteor hits this, a lot of the fuel will explode, and you don't want that. Anyway, so that's just the kind of the tour of the base. The autosave is a little bit slower now. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.